What's going on, guys? It's Sam AlphaMelon here with another AABL Teambuilder video. This one is for week 8. We are nearing the end of this. I think there's 10 weeks, and I'm not making playoffs, so there's definitely only going to be however many weeks are in the main league. So I think we've only got a few battles left after this one, but we're gonna give it our all for all of them. But this week we are up against the Los Angeles Lake Trio and Coach Jimmy, and he's got a team. He's got a team that I'm pretty afraid of. So let's go ahead and break that down. Talk about what he has, what I think he's going to bring, and what I am bringing to shut it all down. So for starters, he's got Tapu Koko as a Z user and a tier 1. Tapu Koko's incredible, electric fairy type, pretty fast, has a ton of special attack. This thing's a monster. It just hits so hard. Like, Life Orb or Choice Specs is terrifying. Might even Scarf it if he really feels like he needs to, but maybe not. I don't think he needs to necessarily, but he could. Hydreigon is a Dragon Dark type, just another really big offensive threat. Not super tanky, but it can fire off Draco Meteors that no one really wants to take a hit from, which is pretty scary. Then he's got Donphan, which is, I believe, a pure ground type. It's super bulky on the defensive side, able to set rocks, able to spin rocks off the field, spin hazards off the field, that is. Also gets a very powerful Earthquake. It can do a lot of damage still, so I have to watch out for that too. Whimsicott is a Grass Fairy type. That is mostly, I believe I've mostly seen it offensive recently. Gets Prankster, and it can just be like Choice Specs Moonblast, and it's scary. That's a lot. There's a lot of damage on a lot of things. Jellicent, which is a Ghost Water type, pretty bulky if I recall. It's been a minute since I've fought Jellicent. I'll have to steady up again before I actually go into the battle. I don't really see Jellicent coming, so I'm not too worried about it right now, but I will still look into it more before the battle actually starts. Hitmonlee, which is a fighting type, gets some good abilities, but can't really make use of it. Like, it gets Reckless, but I don't think people really run High Jump Kick with it because it's still just not worth it. But I'm pretty sure he gets High Jump Kick, but I'll have to double check that one. But either way, kind of decent speed tier and has a good amount of attack, but it's not a great Pokemon overall. Crustle, which is a bug rock type, very defensive, physically defensive. Not too worried about it coming. It doesn't have a lot, and it dies to pretty much everything. It's untiered, so I'm not too worried about it. Mega Beedrill, though, that's a scary Pokemon. Mega Beedrill is a very fast bug poison type, and it's terrifying. It's I think at base 145 speed. And it has like a base 150 attack, something dumb. Gets Poison Jab, gets Fell Stinger, which could be very, very scary. Gets just every good move that there is for those typings, so pretty scary. Jirachi, which is a Steel Psychic type, it's a mythical, so it's base 100 across the board. It's got a lot of versatility. It can set rocks, it can just spam Iron Head. I think it gets Serene Grace, which is terrifying, so I think it can do the flinches with Iron Head. I don't like Jirachi. I don't want to fight Jirachi, but we'll see how that goes. Entei, which is a pure fire type Pokemon. One important thing to note about Entei is that if he wants to have extreme speed on his Entei, he has to be adamant and not jolly. If we don't see extreme speed, then he probably is jolly, just because speed tiers are kind of funky in this matchup. So gets Sacred Fire, which is just an incredible fire type move that burns pretty much everything it touches. Then there's Ambipom, which is a pure normal type, despite the fact that fighting moves are most of its arsenal. It's got a great speed tier at 115. It's got a good attack stat as well. Gets Fake Out. Fake Out's kind of the only thing it's really super good for. It's not great otherwise. Return, Low Kick kind of is the rest of the things it runs. And then finally he's got Quagsire, which is a water ground type, so can't hit it with electric type moves, which is unfortunate. It's also, I think, physically defensive, so yeah, that's his team. If I had to guess what he was bringing, I definitely think Koko's coming. I see Hydreigon coming. I see Donphan coming. Whimsicott's also probably coming. Mega Beedrill, I'm pretty sure will. And then it's a toss-up between Jirachi and Entei for me. I really don't think anything else should come. I don't think he really needs anything else. The only one that he might do is Quagsire, just to have another way to stop my Zera. But I don't know about that. That'd be That'd be a weird play. I think there are much better options you could go for. So let's go ahead and get into my team, what I'm bringing, why I'm bringing it. So we'll start off with Zeraora. I did say that I will be bringing this guy as often as I can, and I plan on standing by that. That's actually, oh my gosh, I clicked the wrong thing. Well, there's a GIF of Zeraora, but that's not what I meant to show. There. Now you have the stat breakdown. So I'm bringing Zeraora. This thing's a beast, and in this matchup, it's pretty decent. It's obviously going to struggle against Donphan and Quagsire if he brings Quagsire, but he's still got some crazy viability this matchup. So Life Orb, Volt Absorb, obviously. And then I'm bringing Plasma Fist, Close Combat, Volt Switch, and Grass Knot. So I'm bringing a mixed offensive set here. I didn't want to tie myself to either because I think his team is very physically defensive, not so much specially defensive. So Whimsicott might actually come as a special defensive Pokemon. I'm not positive yet. But Whimsicott shuts this thing down pretty hard too. But I've got counters for that, as you'll see later on. But Zeraora is just a wall breaker here. I don't think he can win the game for us. I just think he can do an incredible amount of damage to go ahead and open up the door for other Pokemon to clean it at the end. But we're speed creeping. What are we speed creeping? The Tapu Koko, I believe. We should be like just right in front of the Tapu Koko. Yeah, I think Zeraora is going to be a really good wall breaker here, and I think this mix set is going to be really important because that Grass Knot should one-shot the Donphan, and it should one-shot the Quagsire, obviously, assuming that they aren't AV. Volt Switch is just going to do a ton to all of his team, and then Plasma Fist and Close Combat are going to do a lot too. I had an important decision to make here. I really, really wanted to have Knockoff on there. But since I'm running the mix set, I felt like I could not pass up Volt Switch. I wanted to get those pivots, and the extra damage on the pivots is just super important. And the knockoff I really only needed for Jellicent, and I just don't think I see Jellicent coming, so I went ahead and kept knockoff off and kept Volt Switch on. So that's what we're doing there. The next Pokemon I am bringing is going to be Lycanroc. Lycanroc Day is my main answer to Mega Beedrill. It one-shots Mega Beedrill with a Cell Rock, if I recall correctly. It's banded, so it's going to do a ton of damage as well. I definitely think banded Cell Rock can win this game at the end. And then Stone Edge, Iron Head, Drill Run there. Sand Rush is the ability this time instead of, I forget what his other ability is, but I think it's like he can't be flinched, which I might have brought for Ambipom, but I shouldn't have Lycanroc in against Ambipom in the first place, so... Sand Rush is the ability I'm bringing, and you'll see why here in a minute. But yeah, that's the set I'm bringing. Basically, he can kind of clean at the end. There's not a ton that wants to take a hit from him, especially a banded Stone Edge. Those banded Stone Edges are terrifying. Most of his team gets like 70 to 80% taken from banded Stone Edge, so that's really nice for us. The next Pokemon is going to be Garchomp, and now you know why I'm bringing the Sand Rush on Lycanroc, because I have Garchomp with Ground EMZ. Oh, that's not supposed to be Swords Dance. That's supposed to be goodness me. That's supposed to be Sandstorm. There we go. Sandstorm. Z Sandstorm. I think Garchomp has a really good chance to win this game. His only fairy is Whimsicott. If I can deal with Whimsicott, then Garchomp comes in at +1. It outspeeds everything, including like a Scarfed Hydreigon. And if he Scarfs anything, it's probably going to be like a Hydreigon. So I think this Pokemon is going to win the game for sure. Lycanroc has a chance to clean. Garchomp has an even better chance to clean. Just because at +1 he outspeeds everything. Stone Edge destroys, Earthquake destroys, Dragonclaw destroys. I thought about putting Swords Dance on there, as you saw, but I meant to replace it with Sandstorm. Swords Dance would have taken the place of Stone Edge, but I really feel like I needed that Rock-type move. I felt like it just helped against... Like, it helped me make neutral plays. I didn't want to dedicate myself into Earthquake when he had Pokemon that really don't care about Earthquake, or Dragonclaw when he had Whimsicott, so I'd rather have Stone Edge on there, which kind of hits everything neutral. So we'll see if that pays off. I think Garchomp has a good chance here. So the next Pokemon is Sylveon. What? No. There we go. That's better. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. The next Pokemon, Sylveon. I'm bringing the standard Sylveon. There is nothing special about this. Actually, there is one thing to note, and that is the fact that I am ever slightly above 60 speed. I went ahead and put 8 EVs into it instead of just 4, just so that if his Donphan tried to speed creep me, I am 1 point above where he should think I'd be, or 2 actually. So if he tries to speed creep me with Donphan, I should be just a little bit faster, which could be important at the end of the game. Other than that, it's a totally normal Sylveon. That's all I've got for that. It comes in, it stops the Hydreigon pretty well. The dark type moves it does not care about. Obviously, knockoff is going to be annoying, but it's not a big deal. It just stops a lot of his Pokemon. He does not have a great way of killing it. He doesn't have a steel type, you'll notice. So Sylveon's actually really, really solid in this matchup as long as I can keep it alive. So I have to be watching for opportunities to Wish, Protect, all that jazz. Mega Beedrill is really the only thing that poses a big threat to Sylveon. Then next up is going to be Cobalion. I'm rocking a weird Cobalion. I'm bringing an AV Cobalion with Iron Head, Closed Combat, Stone Edge, and Volt Switch. Speed creeping the Entei and the Jirachi. So I'm bringing AV for 2 reasons, actually just one, and that's so that I can handle the Koko, because I think it was Life Orb Koko actually one-shots me still, or before AV it would one-shot me with Thunderbolt under electric terrain, but now Cobalion should be able to take at least 1, hopefully 2, and hit it with an Iron Head and just end that there. So AV Cobalion, I'm hoping, can catch him off guard, hit him with the Iron Head, and then he dies. So that's the plan there. I could have scarfed it. I thought about scarfing Cobalion, especially because if I scarfed Cobalion and brought it into an Ambipom, and Ambipom went for knockoff, I had my justified bonus, so I was at +1, and then I was scarfed, so I sped everything. But I think AV is just safer. I might regret that, because I'm still going back and forth on it, but I really think AV is safer, because if he doesn't bring Ambipom, having it scarfed means I don't have a switch in to Koko as much. So I think I want to keep it scarfed for now, but... Or, I mean, I think I want to keep it AV for now, but we'll have to see. I'm not 100% stuck on that yet. And then finally, the last Pokemon we are bringing is Araquanid. Araquanid with Leftovers, Water Bubble, obviously, Liquidation, Sticky Web, Toxic Leech Life. I'm rocking a really all over the place EV spread, so max HP and then a little bit of attack, Adamant Nature, a little bit of defense, and then a good amount of speed. That's just to make sure I beat an uninvested Donphan. But that defense and the HP are there to make sure I can live 2 hits from the Entei. Just in case I don't know in what situation I'd need to live 2, but make sure that he does not do 50 with any of his fire-type moves, because that thing's a beast. It does so much damage. Even with my Water Bubble, it almost killed me without my HP investment and my defense investment. So Entei's a scary Pokemon, but I think we should be able to handle it. That's all I'm bringing. Some things I left off the team. Mega Pidgeot I really thought about for a while, but I just don't think it does enough damage, and I don't think its speed tier is high enough here. I am bringing Sticky Webs on Araquanid, but that's kind of like the worst case scenario. If I have to set webs, or if I find myself in an opportunity to set webs, I don't know. I don't think webs win the game for me. They're more of like a backup plan. So I don't think Mega Pidgeot's good enough for this matchup, unfortunately. Golbat, just not a real reason to bring it. He doesn't have anything that doesn't want to take poison except for the Whimsicott, but I have enough things that already handle the Whimsicott well enough. Glaceon, I mean, it's Glaceon. I don't think. Glaceon just couldn't really do anything in this match. It's just not able to take any hits and setup. So Celebi, thought about Celebi for a little bit, but I just didn't see Celebi being that great. It just struggles to do anything, especially when Hydreigon's on the field, and Hydreigon's probably scarfed. So Porygon 2, I don't know. I thought I'd use Porygon 2 a lot more than I have, but I just don't see him being all that helpful. Especially in this matchup, I just think there are too many. He's got too many like special or physical Pokemon to the point where I don't think I can bring a tank that is just one. And then Chandelure just struggled, in my opinion, especially with Crustle, Donphan, and Quagsire, and then also just the fact that Chandelure just isn't fast enough, and I could have scarfed Chandelure and maybe done with it more, but I did not have a ton of time to do this team builder, and I'm not feeling all that great still. If you watch my last video, you know. Oh, actually, no, there's no audio in that video. I still have to dub over that. That's a story for another time. But I'm not feeling all that great. My stomach's been iffy for a while now, so. Hopefully, though, I can pull through, do some good things, win this game. I really want to go. I want one more win before the season's over. That's all I want. Just one more. So we'll see if I'm able to get it. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the battle. Bye.